So it's the first show of the year, it's the Classic Bike Guide winter show here at Newark, and we're here with the Best in Show winning bike. Belongs to Roy.
Yes.
Hi Roy, and well Roy, talk us through what this incredible looking machine is.
Yeah, well, I've richly purchased it about 6 years ago, and it came from Italy, and it was actually restored in Italy by Club Remo Venturi.
Right,
and Remo Venturi was Works MV teammate to John Surtees.
Wow, okay.
And then since I've got it, I've put my own stance on it, detailed it, put a few different things on it to get it into condition. But all credit to Remo to get it looking like that.
And the model and year of this particular
It's
one,
a 1973 350 Electronica.
Right, so it's an MV Agusta.
350, yes.
350, so twin cylinder 4-stroke?
Twin cylinder 4-stroke, yes.
Okay, and these were sort of a cafe racer style, weren't
yes,
they?
Because Remo used to race, he's kept it as a basic road bike with a stance of a racing machine as well. And when you look at the footrests and the tank, so he's kept it looking half and half race, road.
So this is a special version then of the standard factory bike that we get?
Yes, it is.
So
yes.
what points of difference are there with this particular one then?
Well,
that you wouldn't see normally?
he replaced the tank, and he replaced the seat.
So it wouldn't normally have this hump seat?
No, it would be a
like
slightly different seat, and the tank would be slightly different, and the clip-ons. Everything else you see on the bike, the speedo, rev counter, headlight, as per road bike.
As per the road bike?
Yes. And obviously I've done touches around the carburation, altered the fuel lines, the HT leads, put my own stance on it. Certain little badges, when you look round at the carburetors, you'll see what I've done to the carburetors.
Right,
and on the HT leads, you'll see that there's MV Agusta logos.
Let's have a look then, Roy. So what in particular have you done on
Well,
there?
if you look where the titlers are, it's got the Italian flag on.
Nice details.
And the bell mouse, because they used to do it old school, it's got the Italian flag on the
enamel badges on there as well.
Yes.
So your own little personalised touches.
I personalised on,
And is this a bike that you run and ride yourself? Or
no,
is it just...
they do all, the bikes that I've got, they all run, but I just keep all my bikes because I only take them to shows.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I do work for, when there's a charity show on, or whatever, I just go to shows to exhibit my bikes.
So you have them to display and share with people there?
Yeah, exactly, to meet people, yes.
And what sort of time and effort then goes into getting it prepped ready for a show like this?
Well, I'm retired now, and for 7 days a week I work on my bikes, and they're all in this condition.
Wow.
So once I've cleaned one, I'll start on another one. That's all I do, day after day, week after week.
Fantastic. And in terms of the polishing on the cases and
I do all that by hand.
You do it all by hand?
I do it all by hand, yes.
Fantastic. Yes. It looks fabulous.
Yes. I take the carburetors off, obviously, at first instance to clean them all out, clean all the inside, and then polish them up back on.
In terms of storing these bikes then, do you store your tanks dry or do you keep a bit of fuel in
I used to put fuel in it, and once a year I would start them.
Yeah.
But because I do the shows, I couldn't see any point of leaving fuel in the tank to start them once every month or whatever. So then I rigged a dummy tank up, fired the bikes up. I thought, well, why am I putting fuel in to do that? So what I do now, I don't have any fuel in it at all, and on my motorcycles, I just check that I've got a spark.
Yeah.
And if I've got a spark, you generally know that you're going to run when you put fuel in it, even if you have to play around.
Yeah.
So I don't put any fuel in anymore.
And do you keep the engines wet as well, or have they got oil in?
They've all got oil in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep them up. Very nice.
And you just turn them over.
Every so often, just to keep them.
Yes.
Yeah. Splendid. So this is one of a number of Italian bikes that you own. Then you've got a few.
I've got an MV Agusta Hoven Q scooter, 125 2-stroke. I've got a Maserati 50 road race, which used to be raced by Beryl Swin.
Yep.
And I've got a Maserati 125.
So it's Italian all the way. And you've got a couple of those bikes on the stand here, the Italian Owners Club.
I have, yes.
Right, we'll have a look at those while we're here then, Roy.
No problem, thank you.
Okay. So, Roy, you mentioned Maserati. Everyone knows those for cars, but they did make a few motorbikes back in the day. And
yes, they did about maybe 5 or 6 different type models of Maserati. And not a lot of people knew that Maserati made motorcycles, but they do.
Yeah, same badge, same branding as.
Yeah, you'll always see a Maserati. It will always have the logo on, like the Maserati cars. Yes.
And I've seen one or two Maseratis in auctions recently. Actually, the sort of standard road going machines, but I've not seen a small. Is this a sort of race replica, or race bike?
This is a Maserati 50cc factory road race. So when they produce them, you could either, because for the young people, you could either race them, or put them on the road, and this is where they were supplied with the number boards. And that's exactly as they come out of the factory, as Beryl Swain used to race hers.
Yeah.
And what happened as well, when Maserati bought Sport out, the first one that they received at the factory for export, the wife of one of the owners of the exporter called this an ugly toad.
Right.
And if you look at the front, you'll see an emblem on the front, and it's got Rossbow. Rossbow means toad.
Oh, right, okay. So that's sort of come from that.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Rossbow means toad, and that Gildo Borry was the exporter.
He said
and she called it ugly toad, and Rossbow means toad. And every bike that came through the factory to be exported, he put his logo on.
Oh, brilliant. It's a fabulous looking bike. The frame is really interesting. What capacity is this one then?
It's a 50cc.
2-stroke?
Yes.
Yeah. What speed gearbox are these? How many gears have you got?
3-speed.
Just 3-speed?
Off the handlebar.
Oh, yeah. Of course, an indicator on there as well.
And the brakes, there's no foot brake on. The brakes are run by the right-hand lever. There's one cable operates the front brake.
Dual braking off one lever?
And the cable operates the rear brake.
And where's the changing for the gears then? Is that?
It's a clutch combined.
Clutch?
And it moves.
Oh, and you twist and change gear all in one there?
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes.
I absolutely love that. And the carb as well is also unusual because that's laid.
Yes, they did it on Ducatis as well, but mainly on Maseratis.
Wow, is that because the cylinder, the barrel's so close to the engine that you couldn't turn it the other way? Or?
No, you can't, because you'd have to alter the float ball, the configuration.
Right.
You would have to put a complete new carburettor on.
So that's unusual as well.
Yeah.
That's a great looking bike, and interesting that they say Beryl Swain also rode bikes similar to this type of model back in the day, and she was a groundbreaker female racer.
That's exactly as they come out of the factory.
Oh, very rare. How many of these do you think are surviving?
Well, apparently, it's very hard to find out with the Italians, but they did make less than 100.
Wow.
And I'm not quite certain how many survived. There cannot be many probably left now. I don't honestly know.
If they were raced and whatever, they'd be crashed and changed and altered.
Exactly, They are very, very, very rare.
So we go from a clubman's racer for the road, to this. When you think of MV Agusta, you tend to think of multi-cylinder or beautiful cafe racers like that.
Yes, you do.
But they also made more utilitarian machines.
Yes,
like
they did.
So this is an unusual bike indeed.
Throughout my life riding motorcycles, up till not long ago, I didn't know that MV Agusta made scooters. And I came across this one, which is an MV Ovenq, which is a 125cc.
125, okay. What year is that one?
That's 1951.
Right, okay.
And that is very rare.
Yeah, I've seen the Pullman, which was a large capacity,
it's slightly different
scooter
than this.
Motorbike type thing, but this is more like a traditional scooter layout.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And again, can't be many of these in the UK then.
There's no record how many, but I haven't seen another one. I'm not saying there isn't any more, but I personally haven't seen any more.
Any sort of distinguishing feature or interesting features about this one then, Roy, that make it?
Well, the interesting features, where people keep telling me it's a Vespa, well, I'm not saying it doesn't look partly a Vespa, it probably does, and partly Lambretta. But when you look round it again, you'll see the MV Agusta, and you look round the front brakes and the calipers with the nipple, they've got their own stance on. You've got your A embossed on the side panel there, meaning Agusta.
Right, okay,
that's how they put their own stance on that bike.
Suspension at the front, there's like a leading link.
Yeah, it's like a leading link fork, yes, with all the grease nipples, which you can see, which is very, very clever still.
And is it sprung at the rear as well then?
Yes, with the suspension on the middle.
Oh, so that's at the rear of the cylinder head like that's unusual.
Yes, it is.
Swing arm.
Yes.
Oh, so there's some interesting features on that, and a sprung saddle for extra comfort as well.
Yes.
Oh, you're riding in style on that one then, Roy.
Well, I don't ride them, they all run, but I just take them to shows.
And what's going on with the barrel then on the side here? So you've got painted, and then there's a silver section there.
I think that's just basically for an inspection.
So, it's an inspection
Yes.
cap. Ah, right, okay. That's lovely. And, real pleasure to see them here at the show.
Yes.
You're part of the
Italian Motorcycle Club.
Yeah,
Yes.
which I know is a great club. My
Yes.
dad's been involved with some of
Yes.
the guys, technical officer here. And no, it's great to talk to you about these bikes, and a pleasure to see them at the show.
Thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, Roy.
Right, thank you. Thank you.